And what does that even entail? Like the stories that you are filming now, have you had a theme kind of start to evolve on what you're more driven to seek out in news stories?
I kind of, in a way, yeah. I know I've definitely covered a lot of First Nation stories, and I think because to me, they're easier because that's my comfort zone. They're easy to go to, but also like nobody else in our program is covering them. Like they're all doing other things, right? So I feel like sometimes I need to cover it. Like last semester, there was they were honoring an elder that had passed away last year at the university, and it was just something I stumbled upon, and I was like, well, that's kind of newsworthy. So yeah, I took it upon myself to cover that story. And
why do you think it's important to cover that and just get word out about your culture and your history?
I think because like we are Indigenous to this area, and especially like it's always been a thing where First Nations had like, I guess, racist. People were racist to First Nations, and there's always those stereotypes and stuff. Even now in the news today, you still see a lot of like people like murdering each other, First Nations murdering each other. You see a lot of people involved in drugs and stuff. And I want to be able to, I guess, show like a more positive side.
And give me chills.
Which is like an example of the story I just did for the Endeavor for the, I guess it would be March like 16th edition. Yeah, that one. It was a feature on Blackfoot culture. And I spoke to an elder and I told her that I wanted to do a story kind of more positive and not focused on residential school. Like I wasn't going to ask her anything about what she went through and stuff. I wanted to focus on her childhood, her favorite memories growing up, and you know how she stayed connected to the culture all these years. And
yeah, because that's huge, because right now we always see the negative side, right? Yeah. And I think that is important for our community to see the positive side, that it's not all like, oh, poor First Nations, right? There's people out there in the community, First Nations people, who are making a difference too, and you want to uncover that or like pave the way for other First Nations people to know it's or to get rid of that stigma, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, exactly. During Reading Week, I helped out with a group from Calgary. We did a kind of like a media youth summit on the Kainai Reserve. They did basically a youth summit for young kids from ages 10 to 18. And in that youth summit, like they got to shoot a 3-minute documentary, a 5-minute short film. Some students even learned journalism and public relations. Wow. And they learned like podcasting, and they learned like all these little things within media, and it was like very new to them. They kind of came in really shy and not knowing what to expect, but like the end of it, they were all like so proud of their work that they did. And like I found like it's stuff like that was, you know, showing these youth that there's an opportunity out there, and you don't have to be restricted to the reserve. And yeah. I feel like even myself, like I've dealt with like feeling shy and not being able to get out of my comfort zone. And then I feel like that's sometimes what a lot of First Nation youth feel like, and being able to, I guess, expose them to even media, because media is such a unique industry, right? It's industry not many people really do see. So when I seen it, when I started really learning, I was so fascinated how TV worked, like all that stuff, and that's how they were at that youth summit. So.